Hi, comadres, and welcome back to your Andale Page podcast. I'm your host, Rose.
And I'm your co-host, Jezebel.
And today we're going to talk about how some women take pride in taking another woman's man, and that is not cute.
Ooh, we're starting off strong today.
Yeah.
And I also want to touch on how the anonymous posting option on groups on Facebook has given people permission to just say whatever and put their whole business out there. And I have screenshots.
Dude, and I hate when people post anonymously like that when they're selling something, because
Absolutely not.
At the end of the day, you're still going to have to give that person your personal info or message, each other. So what is the fucking point? Like, I'm still going to know who you are.
Dude, it's so funny because I recently just saw one where I don't know what she was selling or what she was doing, but she posted anonymously and was like, can anybody help me with this or send me something? And then somebody commented anonymously and they're like, yeah, send me a message. I wish I would have screenshot that, but
like how
the fuck do you connect? Yeah. Well, not only that, but
you need answers.
If you're anonymous and I'm anonymous, like how do you know who is who? You know? Like message me, but so tell me about
girl
people who want to take other people's men.
Okay,
or so take pride in it.
No, I was just browsing on TikTok and I seen this post. Did I send it? I sent it to you yesterday. And it's like let me open it up, and it's gonna have some music, so excuse that. So this is I came across this video and viewed it just because it's crazy. So it says, and she's got a cute little figure and she's a pretty girl, but like, why are you gonna go post this on TikTok? Oh, maybe to get attention. Maybe the girl is thirsty for attention, because that is literally a thirst trap. But at the same time, it makes you look like a piece of shit. So she put on there, it's not homewreking if I'm an upgrade. And it says, baby, I'm home improvement. Like, bitch, I wish you motherfucking would. The way I will split you in half.
Imagine if she did fuck around with somebody's husband and then the wife sees that. Like,
yeah. Like, no.
It's already bad enough what you're doing. Yeah. And then you're just going to go and like rub it in her face.
Dude, and the fucked up, the fucked up part is that I accidentally saw it on our Andale Pues page. And I commented from the Andale Pues page without knowing. But I just put, I wish a bitch would. LOL, and I put the little like emojis like and she replied with the laughing face, and I wanted to tell her so bad, like, but bitch, this ain't funny, like, oh, she's gonna end up getting in trouble, like, for and people are like trashing her on there because it is not home improvement. It is not just because if you think you look better than the wife or whatever, doesn't mean you're a fucking upgrade. Because it's not about the looks all the time. It's about, what you bring to the table. Because a hoe can be para un ratito, para pasar el tiempo. But at the end of the day, most married men are not going to leave their wives for somebody like you. Like, keep that in mind. Write that shit down. Whatever you have to do.
Put it on a sticky note.
Remember that shit, because no.
Yeah. So I will say, I think that's really clever. I think it's like, it's funny the way that she wrote it, like a home improvement. And maybe it's meant ugly to somebody, but I think it's, kind of
I take
like
offense.
the way do you?
Yeah. Because like,
I can tell you're more passionate about it. No, I would have thought like, oh, ha, 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 whatever. But not like, oh, she took somebody's husband. Huh?
No,
but like just the way she worded it, I think it's.
But if like, I put myself in because I put myself in the shoes of, whoever the fuck she's talking about, because I'm like, I wish a fucking bitch would try to come between my marriage, because I've had other bitches try, but.
I was just about to ask, do you think that people purposely set out to take somebody's husband?
Some people are so like descaradas, no tienen moral, son gente cochina, or somebody just not wanting to see you happy,
I remember my mom would always say that whenever something would come up with like in the family, or we would find out about somebody doing something they're not supposed to do. She'd be like, pues si quieren andar allá revolcándose en la cochinada.
Exactly.
Like, damn, Mom.
You know what? But I'm going to be completely transparent here. I not dated. I hooked up with a married man, but he was like in the middle of divorce. So that doesn't count because they weren't together anymore. I mean, he was married. That's a fucking huge difference than hooking up with somebody that is married, is playing casita with the wife and the kids. Like, no, that's a fucking boundary you should not cross at all, because at least not with me, because your ass and it's gonna get split.
I think that is so prevalent in our current not situation, but like our city right now, because have you ever heard of the term West Texas single?
Yep.
Where basically what that is like the oil field is attractive and appealing to everybody in the nation because they're promised money, they're promised hours, they're promised, all these things through the oil field. And to a certain extent, it's right. So what happens is that these men come out here, and I can already imagine the conversation that's taking place. It's just like, hey, I'm going to go out there and work. You stay here taking care of the house, take care of the kids, whatever. We're not going to move you out there. There's nothing out there. It's trash, whatever. Y cuando se vienen para acá, los mañosos andan ahí revolcándose con las cosas que no deben de estarse revolcando. And so what happens is a lot of these women that live here that are like, you have to be very cautious of men who are West Texas single, because they're not single. They're single when they're on their hitch, but whenever they go back home, they have whole families, they have kids, they have mortgages, houses, everything. The problem is, do whatever the hell you want, right? Like, we're all grown adults, do what you're going to do. The problem is the line, because if there's a man who comes out here and has a whole family behind, but he's over here doing things that he's not supposed to be doing, that's on him for lying.
Oh, of course.
If you're open and upfront honest about it and say like, hey, I'm here alone, but I have a family back home, nothing will ever be serious, then at that point, it's obviously he's a piece of shit, but it's the woman's decision to decide whether she wants to proceed in a relationship or entangle.
Totally agree.
But then those women are also trash, because it's just like, you're okay with that? You're okay with somebody giving you like part-time, like ese hombre jamás va a dejar a su familia por alguien que decidió hacer lo que está haciendo, knowing that he's married and has a whole family, right? Like, you're trash. Yeah. And so back to the whole video and everything, I think the wording on it is kind of funny and clever. The idea behind it is so fucked up.
Yeah.
Because, like imagine the wife seeing that.
Yeah. And then I saw another one, and you know how they're doing that trend that she doesn't know you yet, blah, 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 blah. Right? You have seen that trend. So there was one trendy video like that they're having a gender reveal, and it's a little girl or whatever, and it says she doesn't know it yet, but she's about to find out her man's been cheating on her for so long. And that just like literally gives me chills, because like, what, to me, it's like, why do men cheat? This is a serious question for men. If you're watching, like, let us know why you've cheated or why you cheat, because I need to understand that. You know what I mean? I need to because when we women like start, detaching and all that, it's because you're doing something wrong that we're checking out. And when we are checked out and we start doing stuff behind y'all's back, it's because we're done with y'all and we're ready to like move on to the second page.
Allegedly.
Not that I've ever not that I've ever done it, but
it's a conversation. Women check out way before they leave.
When I've been married, I've never cheated. But if there's not a ring on it, well.
No, yeah. Moving on.
When I've been married, I never cheated. But when I dated or like had a boyfriend and stuff, like I did cheat a couple of times. Why? Because I wasn't getting the attention at home that I should have been getting.
And I think
then we ended up breaking up anyways.
I think that's the root cause of when women are done. So you've heard it a million times. And if you haven't, here you go. Women check out of the relationship way before they leave.
Oh God, yes.
And so I think it goes back to this whole communication and conversations within like your own relationship and your own marriage. Like if you are having a need that is not met, you have to voice that. Yeah, si él no quiere or ella no quiere, pues entonces, yeah, you know that this person is never going to give you what you need.
Right.
And it's your decision to decide whether you want to continue doing that because, your family, your el tiempo, la costumbre, whatever, or you're ready to move on and be, alone.
Mm-hmm.
I think men, however, flipping the coin on that end is it could be underappreciation. It could be that the wives are a total bitch. It could be that the wives have let themselves go. And here's my thing, okay? I'm not saying that I am on the woman's side, okay? I'm not saying that, everybody deserves it or whatever, but I think as women, it is so easy for us to get lost in the mundane and the everyday life.
We're so busy all the time with the kids, and so
y nos dejamos de cuidar. We get snappy. We get annoyed. We get in a bad mood. Well, and it is, dude. It's a conscious effort. It's a conscious effort porque si yo fuera como era antes, my husband would get home to something he doesn't want to come home to. Like me in a terrible mood, mad with the kids, annoyed, overwhelmed, everything. Like, no quiero nada que ver, le avientas los niños y ya tú te desapareces to take a walk or whatever, right? And so it's so hard to not fall into that. And it goes back to the roommate situation we were talking on episode 1, because we are busy and there's a lot going on all the time, and you're home with the kids all day and you're going and chasing after the kids all day, or you've been working all day and then when you get home, you got to take care of the kids.
Yeah.
So it's so easy to fall into that trap. In a sense, the issue here, or not the issue, but the solution here is to catch that before things get too bad.
Oh, God, yes.
Porque si tu esposo está llegando and you're a miserable cow, andas toda tirada, estás de mal humor,
or you never want to have sex, like they're going to go look for it somewhere.
They're going to go look for it somewhere else, and it's so much easier for them to just go wherever and emotionally not attach themselves to that. Just stick it in, take care of it, y luego ya.
Yeah, that to me is like magical.
And it's hard. It's because
I mean, I don't wish I was like that, but like
to just go and do whatever. Because women are emotional, men are not. And so why did we even get started on this topic? Why do men cheat? So that's my take on it. Is I think on the women's end, we check out way before we actually leave. And on the men's side, I think that a lot of men feel underappreciated, even though I could think that I'm the most appreciative to my husband and that I show him love and affection that he needs and that I am giving him what he needs. But on the other end, it may not actually be what I think it is. And so that's my take on it. So let us know what you think. Are we spot on? Are we way off? And again, I mean, some men are just dogs. Mm-hmm. Some men are just going to go do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is really like vulnerable. This is like a really vulnerable moment for me. Like I'm really putting my shit out there. Like I got cheated on once and I found out because I had an STD.
Oh my
God. I never told anybody about that. Mm-hmm. I had to go get on antibiotics and everything, and everything's fine. But that's how I found out.
Dude, that is so fucked up because it's not just the consequences of somebody finding out. Uh-huh. It's not just the consequences of you knowing, whatever. It's the consequences of like, ¿dónde lo estás metiendo? Que sale sucio y luego vienes y se lo pegas a alguien más.
And it was, to me, it was so heartbreaking because, you put your trust in, I put my trust in that man, and I was like head over heels and the happiest woman with this man. And when I found out I had an STD, because I was like, something's not right with my body, because I know my body, I don't sleep around, or I don't, so I went to the doctor, and sure enough, I was like, oh my God, like, what the fuck? And from that moment, I got so disgusted by this man that I just was like, I'm done. Like, I'm done. I
don't blame you.
the infidelity, and then that's when I was like, okay.
Y no te salió con que, oh, you probably picked it up off the toilet seat.
No. Because
that's not true, right? You can't pick up
No. He was very, very, like, pissed. Pissed at himself and pissed probably at that bitch, you know? But it was too late. Like, le había agarrado el asco. So I was like,
¿Dónde no?
Yeah, and so this was many years ago, and I hadn't ever spoken about it because it's embarrassing, dude. Like, who wants to have an STD, you know? But I mean, it happens. It happens to many women because their men go and fucking put their fucking dingling in other women. And my thing now is, have y'all seen the rise on HIV here in Midland, Odessa? That is so scary. So I always said, God forbid me and my husband divorce. I'm staying fucking single forever because I am so scared of anything like that ever happening to me. Or
for me, whenever me and Manuel have had our downs, you really have to take a look at, okay, am I leaving what I have for the unknown? Like, is it that bad que yo quiero andar batallando always completely sola, financially, with the help of the kids? I mean, my husband's not help right now because he's always at work.
Right.
But literally alone with the kids 24/7, except every other weekend, financially doing it alone, having to find somewhere else to live. Like, are our problems that big?
Yeah.
That I'm willing to go and do all of that? My answer has always been no, because our issues are so minuscule, right, in comparison to something like that, or in comparison que ande teniendo que buscarlo porque se me sale, or, you know, that he's an alcoholic or anything like that. Absolutely not. So for me, it's no, whatever we face, we can get through it. We're going to work through it because it's not worth it for him, I don't think. It's not worth it for me. And like, when I see that people are, you know, out there single and looking for stability or in a partner, or they're dating or whatever, like, everybody says, I don't know if it's just our area or in general, like our society, they say that there's just nothing but trash out there.
Yeah, I've heard that so much. And to me, in my first marriage, you know, it was due to alcohol and the type of person this individual would turn into when he was not, I mean, I think he was like not sober a lot of the times, you know? So
it sucks.
It was like, I was the parent, I was the everything around the house, machismo too. And I didn't like that. I felt alone, and I was like, if I'm going to feel alone, I might as well be alone.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got to take myself, I was like getting depressed. I was gaining weight. I was like, okay, I need to take myself out of this situation because I felt like I was hurting my kids in the process. And I'm like, they don't deserve that, you know? My second marriage was cheating. And then I just couldn't forgive, you know, because it's cheating on your significant other that comes home to you, or that you get home to every day. You have a cooked meal, the house is clean, takes care of your kids, like, does everything for you, and then you go and cheat on her. It's like the most disrespectful, most hurtful thing you can ever do to a woman that is so in love with you, that, like, gives it all for you. Like, put yourself in that situation before you go and do some stupid shit. And then this is my third. I was going to say, and then my third, but I'm in my third. But they say the third one's the charm. So, and my husband's an amazing man. Yes, he's not perfect, and he's got a lot of patience, and I'm so thankful for that because I don't.
Same.
I think we level each other out so well. But like, women out there, don't take pride in taking another man's husband, because that ain't cute. That's not a good look for you, babe. It's not. And it's not something to be proud of. It's not something...
It's definitely not something to be boasting about on social media.
No.
Like, that's a perra callejera
Especially
attitude.
If they have kids, dude. Especially.
Let's talk about that, because do you not think about what your kids knowing what you're doing, your kids knowing that stuff like that is out there? Like, obviously the sex industry is
always going to be around and everything. But I think having your whole stuff out there, your whole face, well, I mean, I don't know faces, but like knowing that you do that, do you not have a problem with your kids knowing that?
One day finding out.
Not only that, like if I were to do it today, my kids are 10 and under. In 5 years, when Jax is, 15, 16, 17, 18, teenager.
You can Google, if you had a OnlyFans, if God forbid they knew like your nickname or whatever, you can Google that shit and it'll pop the fuck up like that. Speaking of OnlyFans, when I dated somebody back in 2019 all the way to July of 2020, his baby mama, we got the little kid. Yeah. The little girl brought the iPad over around us. Tell me why that little girl's iPad had the mother's. Shit. I'm pretty sure it was OnlyFans.
All spread eagle.
I don't know. Yeah. All spread eagle, showing her a pussy, her sideways titties, all these sexual pictures on this iPad, and I was like shook. It's like, what the fuck on this little girl's iPad?
It sucks. It sucks because I feel for those kids.
Yeah.
I feel for, somebody that little. I feel for any teenagers. I just think that, yeah, we all need to make money. And you know what I think made me think of it a lot is because one of my son's friends came across my TikTok. Number one, why does a 10-year-old have a whole TikTok account for himself? Like, I do not agree. But two, he came across my TikToks and he was commenting on the ones like with Jax or whatever. And I thought it was really cute, right? But I also started to think about, okay, this makes me take a second look at what we're putting online. Cussing, whatever. But like the episode where we got super graphic, remember I was texting you and I was like, I'm going to cut this part out because that's really like, it makes you think about stuff like that. So if your kids were to come across your content, even if it's blurred out or if you have to pay for subscriptions or whatever, like, do you not feel a certain type of way about that? Or do you just not care? Right? Like, or are you just going to say, oh, well, money is money? Fine. Cool. I'm genuinely curious because I feel like I could never, like if my husband or my son was just like 18 years old and 20 years old and he's just like, yeah, my mom is, spread eagle on OnlyFans. Like,
yeah, no.
Dude.
Yeah. Like I get some women have to do what they got to do to make some money, but bitch, you claim to be a realtor and a fucking nurse. Like, grow the fuck up,
I don't know. And then I guess for me, it's just not
has all these kids and doesn't take care of them. Like,
do I think it's hot? I feel like there's exhibitionism aspect to it, right? Like some people are into that, and that's some people's kink and stuff. Like, cool. I just feel like, dang, that's really.
Yeah, because
being able to find it so directly is
no, because
would make me cringe. If
it's out there, it's gonna get brought up or it's gonna be seen. Like, they were on the iPad and the little girl showed them to us, so we're like, what the fuck,
Yes, and
I feel embarrassed for that secondhand embarrassment type shit.
Secondhand imagine on your little kid's iPad, dude. Absolutely not.
As far as the cussing and the malablada on here. Like, my kids know me and they know that I've always been like this. So they're used to, like, my potty mouth. They don't give a shit. They're all grown. But I would never, like, purposely, like, put thirsty pics or videos up there or ever have an OnlyFans because out of respect for my kids, because they're all boys, too. So, and even if it is girls, like, conti más ganas, because the girls, they want to be like their mom. They want to be like, you're the role model.
So I think there's a lot to that. Like, switching gears a little bit. I have 3 girls. And so for me, like, having one of my daughters tell me one day, like, I want to be just like you, I think I'd be deceased. I would be like, stop it right now, because how many people do you come across that want nothing to do with their moms, that say like, I'm going to be nothing like this. Now, listen, I'm not perfect. I'm snappy. I get overwhelmed and overstimulated sometimes, but I don't feel like I talk shit to my kids. I don't degrade them. I don't, tell them that they're never going to amount to anything or whatever.
No,
like
never.
My girls and my son, I tell them all the time, you're important. You're amazing. I love how your mind works. You are so creative. Like, wow, that was a really good way to think of things like that. Number one, because I think I know my love language is words of affirmation. So for me, it's easy, to be able to do that. But two, I think that kids are so impressionable, and the way that we see and act around them is the way that they want to act. Prime example, the last 7 months with Estela, my toddler, were awful. And I love that little girl with my entire heart, but she made the last 7 months of our lives hell. And when I say that, it's because we had a new baby, right? And she struggled to adjust. She was crying. Oh, God. Damn day long. She would be on the phone with me. I'd send her voice notes like, this is what I'm dealing with. Like, I'm sorry, I don't have anything right now for you. Not like the last 7 months have been truly the hardest I've been fighting for my life every single day. Now, over the last probably month or so, maybe a little more than a month, I have truly seen we're kind of on the other side of it. Like, either she matured a little bit or I learned how to deal with it. I don't know which one it is.
I was going to tell you that the other day when she fell asleep in your arms. I was like, I see that maybe she just wanted a little bit more attention, or maybe now that, after her accident, which we speak about on episode 2, she touched on that. I feel like, she feels, how can I say? I don't want to offend you or anything, but I feel like maybe she was a little jealous, and that, you have to give your undivided attention to the baby when the baby needs it. And she was the baby, you know what I mean?
And it's hard.
And I feel like now that she's getting the attention, because, sadly
it was because of something that went bad.
Accident. But I love that. I love that, though.
I think
todo pasa por una razón. That's how I feel. But
I think it's a little bit of that, or not a little bit, but partly that. But I also think that the number one thing that I started to take a step back and look, because honestly, dude, I was like, what can I do to survive this? I can't do this forever. Like,
you've told me that.
Remember when I told you I made that video where she's like screaming
for no reason?
For no fucking reason. It's toward the end of the day, and then she screams, so the baby screams. And I remember I recorded a video and I was just like, when does it stop? When do they grow out of this? Like, when?
Because not even the baby. The baby's such a good baby.
And so I think for me, it took a lot of like realizing, like, I'm in the zone and I'm trying to make dinner and I'm trying to do the dishes and I'm trying to do this and this and this and that. Yet she wants to help. And I constantly hear her being like, if she wants medicine, I'll go get the medicine to give it to her. And she'll be like, me. But to me, I'm like in a hurry and like trying to get it done and whatever. So for me, it took taking a step back and being like, how can we survive this? And seeing that she just wants to do things herself. She's in that independent stage. And when I started to shift my mindset and my actions to cater to that, I started to see a difference. It took me 7 months.
But let me tell you, this little girl's this big and wants to help her do anything and everything. She's like a little señora. Literally, dude. And I love that. Oh my God.
She has to help me do the dishes. She has to help me cook. She has to help me when I'm doing the clothes and like taking laundry. I have to leave a little stack for her. Now I know this, but I have to leave a little stack for her because she wants to help. When it's time to take things out of the dryer, she wants to help me take things out of the dryer and take them over there. Like, a ella le nace. And when I started realizing that and I started letting her help and giving her little tasks and everything, man, it's been a complete 180 over the last month.
In the process, you wear her out. So by the end of the day, she's tired and she goes to sleep good, But that's good. I'm so happy for you for that, because I know how fucking traumada estabas, dude.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It was really, really bad. But we are on the other side of it. You know, that's my baby. And I think our house dynamic also shifted.
Good.
Because so I brought all this up because I wanted to share about how kids are so impressionable, because when I started to shift and I started to figure out how to deal with her in this season that we're in, the kids started to shift as well. Because the one thing that I would see is like Elena was like yelling at her, Stella, for whatever reason. Jackson was like, Stella, stop it, get the heck out of my room. And to me, Jackson talking like that, he's starting to get a little bit older, and I'm like, don't look and talk to her like that. Like, that is not how you speak to your sister.
Right.
But then it's like, why are y'all being so dang aggressive? Yeah. And like, why are y'all yelling? And when
that's that's what they were seeing.
That's what they were seeing.
What they were, yeah.
And so now the whole kind of dynamic has shifted where they're learning more patience with her. Elena plays with her so much. She helps so much with her. Like, everything has changed. And
Elena,
I feel like hasta en la cara se me mira that we're, thank you, Jesus, we're almost on the other side of it. Yes.
No, yeah. Your girls are so independent, and I love that. I love that. I love watching your videos because it makes my heart smile seeing how they're growing up into little young ladies and helpful. And I just love that, because this episode's going to air. Oh, fuck, but you don't know the gender. I was going to say the gender on here, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to be a grandma. 41-year-old grandma. But
so all of that, you know, to just also kind of say that, that the kids are so impressionable. So seeing something like that online of what you're doing, you know, are they going to grow up and be like, hey, I want to be just like my mom, or my mom gave us such a good example, or I want to be a mom like my mom, where she did XYZ for us and I'll never forget that, you know, like that's what I shoot for, like, as a mom. You know, I want my husband or my son, when he finds his wife, I want him to
look for those qualities in that woman.
Look for qualities of how I treated his dad. You know, like, I want whoever he finds to be able to cherish him and honor him the way that I cherish and honor my husband and uplift him, you know? And same thing with my girls.
No, for sure. But I mean, there's just some people that, yes, they're book smart, but aren't smart in the real world. You're like, what's wrong with your fucking
street smart?
Yeah, like, what's wrong with your brain? Because that's not it, you know?
Yeah. So shifting gears a little bit, we've talked about being proud of taking somebody else's husband. Then we got a little bit emotional.
I'm not being proud of taking somebody else's husband, because...
Oh, yeah. Like, we talked about how some people are proud of taking somebody else's husband, but how you should not be proud of something like that. Anyway. And then we got a little emotional with, you know, talking about the girls and, you know, what kind of moms that we want to be and, you know, things like that.
And examples we want to instill in our kids.
And so now let's kind of go again into this anonymous member that I was talking about earlier with Facebook. So in case you have not, unless you've been living under a rock, Facebook groups now have the option for you to post anonymously into the groups. And at first, I thought it was just like, oh man, you know, that's cool, because if you don't really want somebody knowing your business or what you're on the horizon of, then, you know, you can at least post it on there, get your recommendations, get the information without anybody knowing who you are and being all up in your business. The problem that I now see is that everybody has started to use that button as an option to just say whatever the fuck comes to their mind without even thinking of the consequences. I have a couple screenshots and I have more examples where I don't have screenshots, but I know for sure they happen. So for this one, and I actually commented on here, everybody was commenting anonymously, but I commented with my whole fucking chest. The lady said, I'm really sad because I can't anticipate my Mother's Day will be like every other day for me. My husband has to work and probably won't get me a gift. How do I deal with holidays always being like this? I feel forgotten. He did tell me to go buy myself a gift, but I don't really see the point. Number one, with that, like, when did these groups become like a counseling session for that, you know? And I think it ties back into the whole theme of that we had in episode 1 in episode 2, where people are lonely. We're lonely as humans. We don't have as many friends. We don't have as many connections. No convivimos in person, right? So there's not anybody that they can ask for stuff like this. And so for me,
that's sad that you have to go to the internet and post stuff.
No, it's so sad. And that's one of a million. That's one of a million types of posts that I've seen like that. But this lady, I commented on there and I wanted to share my perspective because I have walked this through and through for my whole life with my husband. Not my whole life. I will say things have gotten a lot better in the last 5, 7, 8 years. But I was the same as her. It was like every birthday, every holiday, every Mother's Day, every Christmas. It was just like I didn't have anything to look forward to because my husband always salía con que he's busy. He has to work. He doesn't have time. He doesn't know what to do. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit. One of the times that we were not in good terms and we were really, really struggling in our relationship, I was just like, and pointing this out, I was just like, what do I get on Mother's Day? What do I get on my birthday? What effort do you put at Christmas time? Dude, I will never forget one time I sat up crying because everybody was opening their gifts and I got literally nothing. Everybody's stalking and I might cry again because I just remember feeling like so defeated. Like, what is the fucking problem with this man? ¿Por qué chingados no me aprecia? ¿Por qué no me puede poner poquito pinche esfuerzo? Right? Everybody's stocking was full to the brim on Christmas morning. And I think he had gotten me like something that I had sent him. And it was just like a little necklace in something. I don't remember specifically, but I remember, yes, being grateful for it, but it was something he could have picked up off the side of the road. You know how people like set up. So it showed me no effort. Right. And everybody's opening all these gifts and Christmas time is so stressful as a mom because you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off. You want your kids to have everything be special. Until that year, I was literally like, enough. Enough is enough. Tú no pones nada de esfuerzo. Tú no estás haciendo absolutamente nada to make me feel appreciated, valued, loved. Oh, well, I come home every day. Sorry. That's not enough.
I would have punched him in the face.
And this was years and years and years ago, so it's not, we're in a much better space now. But to him, providing and coming home every day is his gift to me. Oh, God forbid somebody's like, doing what they're supposed to fucking do.
Okay, then this is the gift to you.
This is a privilege. And so I had years in the making. We had lots of talks about this. I was just like, Mother's Day comes on the same month every single year. Hey, Rose, when does Christmas? Is Christmas different every year? A different month, a different day?
No,
every year. Since you've been alive, is it the same day every month?
Yep.
I'm sorry, the same day on the same month every year? Oh, okay. What about your birthday? Does your birthday change?
No.
Like, is that a surprise? Do you just wake up one day and be like, oh my God, it's Rose's birthday?
No.
Oh my God, it's, whoever's birthday. I didn't know. Well, what a surprise. Yeah. No, it's on the same exact day, the same exact month, every year, year after year. It does not change. Yeah. So tell me why you are not able. My birthday is in June. Tell me why in May you can't start looking online and think of, okay, what can I get her?
Or even some fucking flowers. Just go to the fucking store.
Oh, me and get flowers, that's all you have to do for me. And that's what I told him.
Or a fucking plant, because this is literally the plant lady.
And you know what he told me? Again, this is years ago. Do not take this as our relationship now, because we're in a much different space now. But he was like, oh, I don't like, because to me, just get me a big old bouquet of flowers. That's all I need. My heart literally beams. I love flowers so much. And I think it's the effort too, and like reading the little card, like that's all I need.
Yeah.
But anyways, I was like, this is all that I need. You're telling me you can't put in a little bit of effort to make this happen? And I remember him saying, I don't like getting you flowers on days when I'm supposed to get you flowers, because that just means I'm supposed to be doing something. Everybody does it on those days, like Valentine's Day, Mother's Day. I don't like getting you flowers on that. I like to do it just on my own whenever. Oh, okay. So when was the last time you got me flowers on my own?
Yeah, just because flowers. So where are the just because flowers? You know?
Ever. ever. And we had been together a very long time at this point. So I can go on about and on and on and on about this. But, it's the point of it. And so with her, I went on there and I commented and I said, like, the same thing that I just talked about right now. Mother's Day is not a surprise. So and even right now, this was yesterday when she posted it, I think, which would have been Monday. You fucking hop your ass online on Amazon. Look for a pretty little necklace. Look for a workout set. Go in her closet and look at what size she wears. Go in her shoes and look at what size shoes she wears. Go to Simply Gorgeous Head Spa and get her a gift certificate to the spa. Go on Google. Type in massage parlors Odessa, Texas, or massage therapies Odessa, Texas, and have one come up. Call them and say, hey, y'all do gift certificates? Okay, what's your address? I'll go by and pick it up.
Exactly.
¿Qué tanto pinche esfuerzo te cuesta eso? So no, I'm sorry, I went off.
I can't relate because my husband's really good about
gifting me. Always does. But no, the no effort, absolutely not. That is not an excuse. And what I told her on there is that him working only excuses him out of taking you out that day.
Right.
It doesn't excuse him out of not getting you a gift or making you feel special. Because no, absolutely not. We have to hold these men accountable.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we do so much. And I'm sorry, and shout out to my husband because him saying that, otherwise I would not be able to have this to talk about.
Right.
But him saying, like, me providing and coming home is your, gift. Absolutely not.
The way I would have fucking karate chopped him in the throat. Like, no.
But, this anonymous option gives people the option to comment anonymously. There was a lot of comments on there of people commenting anonymously saying, throw the whole man away or whatever. And I don't believe that's always the case. I believe that it takes some communication to be able to get out of that.
Express yourself, let your man know what you need. Because
and what you expect.
I feel like when you express yourself and tell your husband, like, hey, I need this from you, or I need this from you, it helps, sometimes it takes them a little bit, but a lot of the times they're going to listen and they're going to follow through, I can't relate on that. My husband's always real good about like gifting me something. And I think last year, I was at work and I was doing somebody's hair and this lady was like, Rosa, and I was like, fuck, did I book somebody and not remember to write her down? So I was freaking out because I was like elbows deep into some highlights and it was going to take me a while to finish, but also I thought she was going to be a client, and I was like, oh my God, like I overbooked, blah, 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 or double booked. And nada that she se hizo pa un lado and she like came around the corner with a huge ramo buchon, remember?
Stop.
The one that came with the little crown. And so many roses. I was not expectant of it. It was just the most beautiful thing. And I was just like, wow.
That. He's the best.
And, for every occasion, he does a little something. He knows I love perfume and I have a whole collection because every time he gets me perfume and I'm cool with that because I love perfume. But just putting a little effort. So, okay, this is something that I always live by. And I always say it like, if you take care of me, and this goes in relationships, marriages, friendship, whatever. If you take care of me, I'm going to be 1,000 times better to you. Like,
can confirm.
That's just who I am. Like, my husband's good to me. I'm good to him. I go above and beyond. I bend over backwards for people that do it for me because that's just the type of person that I am.
Literally.
And I do it like 10 times over. Like, I just love being that way because if you take the time to give me a detallito or something, that's gonna be like marked in my brain and I'm always going to remember that. Like, there's no erasing that. And I will always appreciate you and go above and beyond for you because you did that. Like, that to me is like so important to keep in mind, when you take care of people, they're going to be taking care of you. I promise you that.
Yeah. And then when they don't, mándalos a la fregada.
Yeah. And if they don't, pues sí, like she said. But
so here's another one.
I love your case, by the way. Velvet caviar is the best.
Dude. And then I got the kit that comes with the portable charger and the Octo Buddy. Oh my God.
My ring thing broke on my red one, on my red checkered one like that, but I just need to reorder it and I haven't.
So here's another one too that I was just like, man, like, you guys, why is everybody just, like, putting their business out there? There was a lady, and I don't have that screenshot, but it was 6 a.m. when this post, I guess, got approved, and she was looking for her husband. She said, hey, can somebody do me a favor and call my husband? He's not answering, and he's allegedly at Little Woodrow's. Absolutely fucking not.
No. So why would you go anonymous and post that when you're asking somebody to call your husband? Then you're gonna have to give out your husband's phone number and information.
No toda la gente mire su nombre. But girl, if you are doing the most like that to try to find your husband because he's out at night, that's a case of throw the whole fucking man away.
Yeah.
Throw the whole man away because, like, go out, do your thing, whatever. The minute you stop answering me.
Oh, no. Hell no.
Because she wasn't probably just calling all late because those posts get approved pretty quickly. So it was probably in the middle of the night, like 1, 2, 3 in the morning. And so everybody on there was commenting like, well, Little Woodrow's closes at 2 and Little Woodrow's closes at... So imagínate, se pone peor.
What? I wonder what time she posted it though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It had, because it got approved like 6 a.m. or something. I was scrolling and, it had to have been super, super late after the admins were asleep and when they woke up. So it had to have been like a weird, at least midnight. Minimum, at least midnight.
Hell no, dude.
So, dude, can you imagine needing... And not only that, another thing that I have noticed is that there's a lot of women who their husbands are working here and they are joining this moms group so that they can be like asking about things over here. There's people who post about...
If you don't want to get your feelings hurt, just hop off that.
Their husband sending people money on Cash App and they're like, well, look up this number, look up that number. Does anybody know whose number this is?
Yeah.
Like... I mean, I hate to, I know this sounds fucked up, but I mean, I get entertainment out of it because I'm like, that sucks. And I was like, I'm scrolling, but it's
I'll be curious and nosy about it, but I would never do that myself, post that shit on there.
Yeah, and then there was a day here. Hey, moms, need a little venting sesh. I'm a stay-at-home mom of an almost 3 and 4-year-old, and they go to school 2 days a week. Do you have any days where you just feel lost? I feel like all I'm doing with my life is being a mom and staying home. I see all my friends and people around me graduating college and starting new big jobs, and I'm just here doing the same thing day in and day out. I just feel stuck and lost, like I'm never going to do anything with my life. My dream would be to go back to school for accounting or business, and that takes about 4 years, but the time is obviously passing by regardless. I'll add I'm almost 28 years old. Pobrecita.
That's young, dude. And for her to feel like that already?
For her to feel like that. But that, like she said right there, the time is passing by regardless. And I'm such a believer of that because there's so many things in my life that I would have not done because I think like, oh, well, yeah, it's too late. Or, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to, but you keep saying you want to, but then you never do it. Yeah. But the time is passing by anyways. It's slaying el tiempo. So... Yeah,
time is something you will never get back. So if you want to do something, fucking do it.
Go do it.
Because nobody's going to go do it for you. It's not going to come to you. You got to go to whatever it is you want to do. Otherwise, you're always going to be fucking Think about it like this. You're not a fucking tree to plant roots anywhere. Fucking move and make moves.
I love that. I haven't heard that in freaking forever. I love that. And I swear I had another screenshot somewhere.
Yeah.
But one more thing, let me add here because I just came across this in my screenshots. If my man dies, he's getting cremated. Ain't no bitch gonna visit you nowhere. Cemetery my ass, you're going right on my dresser. If that ain't me,
I can attest to that one.
If that ain't me, I swear, pobrecito. I'm so mean.
I mean,
lo que es mío es mío.
God forbid my husband pass away, like. And I go visit his grave and there's other fucking flowers. They're going in the trash. So don't waste your fucking money.
Oh, and one more. I just thought of that. I don't want to take time looking for the screenshot, but there was this lady who posted on there. Okay. I get so fired up about this stuff. She posted on there saying, like, I just want to remind everybody that you have to be and give everybody grace because you never know what somebody is going through. Because I was going down the road and I underestimated the distance between me and the other car, and I hit their bumper, or like she rear-ended them. It was something like that. And the car has damage. But while we were standing there, the passenger in that car was really upset and really mad. And they were just talking negatively the whole time. And I just want to remind everybody to be kind because you never know what somebody is going through.
Bitch, if you fucking hit my car
off.
If you fucking hit my car because you underestimated the fucking distance between your bumper and mine, you bet your ass I'm gonna be fucking pissed, especially if my kids are in the car.
That means your dumbass was not paying attention.
Yeah.
Girl, and it's deleted now, but if you have the screenshot where I commented on there, please let me know. The way that I went off, I said, no, it doesn't matter. Like, you saying that you underestimated the distance between you and the other car simply means you were not paying attention. So you were either on your phone or you weren't paying attention. When you're driving, you have to fucking pay attention.
Put the fucking phones down.
And another thing, if you're kind of like at a stop, and you know how when you start to let off the pedal and then you're on your phone, a lo mejor, entonces sí también, again, it's a case of not paying attention. But if you tap the other car, you're not going to have damage. You have to be going at least a certain amount of speed before you have damage.
For sure.
So I went on there and then I was just like, why are they not allowed to be mad at your lack of paying attention?
Yeah.
I am so tired of this. Saying be kind because you never know what somebody is going through.
Every fucking buddy's going through something.
Excuses you being sad, you not feeling like yourself, you kind of moping around, you just not acting like yourself. That's what it excuses. It doesn't excuse you being an asshole. It doesn't excuse you being rude. It doesn't excuse you being nasty and ugly to other people. It doesn't excuse shitty behavior. Oh, I'm so tired of people saying, give people grace because you never know what somebody is going through. No,
because we're all going through
what you're going through. Treating people like shit and being nasty human being. No excuse. There's no fucking excuse that would warrant that. Having a bad day, totally get it. You're going to snap at somebody, but So yeah, I got pissed off at that because I'm like, why are they not allowed to be mad? Because of your lack of paying attention. Now they have damage to their car and they have to pay for it. And y'all have to deal with the insurances. What if they just got the car? What if they just got fit?
What if they don't have the renter's insurance and they're going to be out of a car because they have to put it in the shop?
Exactly.
Like, no, be fucking mindful and be fucking for real.
You got to get your kids to school. No, like if I want to, and that's what I'm scared of. I know we've talked about it on different episodes. Bitch, if I ever get in a car accident and somebody hits me, I am so scared of my reaction because me da rabia. At OGT, when I was working at OGT that you had already departed, we were at the shop, the new shop that they built, and we were actually talking about that. And one of the superintendents was just like, God damn. I was like, no. If I have my kids in the car and you hit me because you're not freaking paying attention, olvídate. I am scared of my reaction.
Yeah.
I am so scared of how I'm going to react. Porque nomás así pensando me dan ganas de ir a sacarlos de las puras greñas. Like,
I have PTSD from my car accident, so I don't want to know my reaction. I don't know if I'll be a fucking nervous wreck and just fucking bawling and crying and just freeze, or if I'm going to hop out of my car and want to fight you because it could go both ways because...
Yo que esté toda quebrada, I will fight you. I don't give a shit because I really believe that'll be my reaction. Y Dios me libre, dude. Because I don't want to go to jail.
So many accidents because of people not paying attention,
dude. That's what it comes down to, dude. That's exactly what it fucking comes down to.
Stupid. Like, what is the need of you driving like this and like not paying attention? Like, I'm guilty of it. I've recorded videos. And sometimes, and this is no excuse, like I'll look around and make sure there's no vehicles around me or whatever, or no vehicles in front of me or whatever. But I don't do it like in huge traffic or anything. I shouldn't do it at all. Of course, I admit that. But I'm mindful of like my surroundings and stuff because I know I could potentially get into a car accident. But I've seen people like driving and just texting
and
they're like this and then they're like and I honk at them and they get scared. They do it's a jump scare and they fucking flip me off and I'm like, I don't care. Get off your fucking phone. You know?
Yeah.
But anyways.
So don't pay attention when you're driving and don't hit anybody. Be mindful of other humans, but...
Yeah, because she'll fight you.
I will, dude. Dios me libre, les digo.
All right, guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any answers to some of our questions on the cheating or anything about this, leave your comments and let us know what you think or your opinions.
Wherever your preferred streaming platform is, we're on it. So leave us some feedback. Let us know. Let us know what you thought of this episode. If we're on, if we're off, if, you know, we're just completely crazy and psycho and you have no idea. But all right, well, you guys have a great day and thanks so much for watching.
Bye.
Bye.